Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Bronco Nation will not score. Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown. Head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. Game time is approaching, and we're getting you ready with the latest pregame news, interviews, analysis, and more from BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Have a pregame score prediction or comment? Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud sponsor of Boise State Athletics and proud to support our student athletes through exciting NIL partnerships. From the blue turf to wherever life takes you, Lithia Ford of Boise is here to get you there. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. For all your painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News.
Well, good afternoon, Bronco Nation, and welcome to SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles. Look at this palace as the Boise State football team in exactly 2 hours will take on Washington in the LA Bowl here at SoFi Stadium. What a scene to end Boise State's final game of the 2025 season. My name's BJ Rains. Welcome to the field here at SoFi Stadium. We're going to check in just a minute at Uncle Bob's Pizza, but wanted to set the scene here for you guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay, see me okay. The Broncos just came out on the field, had their pregame prayer. You see many of the players here behind me walking around, getting a view of SoFi Stadium here as the Broncos. Who would have thought it couple weeks ago, all of a sudden here in the LA Bowl on ABC national television to finish off the 2025 season here against Washington. Just a improbable turn of events. You win the last 2 regular season games, you host the championship, you win that, and now you get to play here at SoFi Stadium on national TV. Going to be an awesome night tonight, and I know Boise State's fired up. As I said, players out here kind of walking around, taking in the sights and scenes, and we'll have plenty of injury news, plenty of opt-out news. If there's any additional ones, we'll keep an eye on that. I know all eyes on Daylon Matoyer at right tackle. We all know the Cage Casey news, and I know our esteemed panel back in Boise is going to have plenty more to say about that. Just had a chance to check out with Rob Gronkowski as well. We were hoping to have Gronk on live. We couldn't make that work, so we did tape a interview with Rob Gronkowski that we'll play here in a little bit. Jeremiah Dickey going to join us live as well. But as we get ready to send it back to Uncle Bob's Pizza and Meridian and our crew there, what a scene here, guys. Excited for this one. And we appreciate for back in Boise. I know this is fun here. Are you there, guys? Where are we at? I can hear you. I can't see you, though. Go ahead and start talking.
You're frozen, BJ.
No, internet issue there. But anyways, yeah, BJ, we're here down at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian off of McMillan. And, we're here at the Sun Cruiser Studios. Got some beautiful Sun Cruisers in front of us. Here with Kent Riddle, Brad Bedell. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. I'll be better in a few minutes here. Go Army, beat Navy. Hopefully we got a big 4th down coming up here at the end. So
doing great. BJ should have got a free bowl of soup with that jacket.
I was fired up. BJ was bringing the energy for all the fans that were in SoFi already.
That they haven't let in yet?
Look like a lot of them were dressed as empty seats.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We're going to be enjoying ourselves here at Uncle Bob's Pizza. Come on down.
We got a lot of blue and orange in here, though.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yes.
It'll be filling up. I know
we got a good crew. Early people here. So I'm just dying right now. I need Army.
And I know Burke was saying too, they're getting calls earlier in the week saying, hey, can we reserve a spot? And he's like, hey, we're doing first come, first serve. So if you're thinking you can show up here at 6:15 and get a spot, get here early to grab your spot. But we'll be here having a good time. We'll be breaking down the game. I don't know if BJ will get the internet figured out. If we can, I know he's got that interview with Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, the internet's just fine. And I hear all the comments about the jacket and everything. Hey, I've worn this.
He said he could hear all your comments about the jacket. The internet's fine.
I've worn this. I mean, it looked great mood. Just shout out to Caddyshack. Looks good on you, though.
I've worn this jacket one time, and it was to cover Ashton Genty at the NFL draft, and I thought I'd bust it out again for the LA Bowl here in the NFL. So I can hear you guys just fine. Excited for your commentary once Rid finishes watching this game here. But going to be fun. Excited to be here. We're going to be in and out with the internet, but I'll let you guys take it for a little bit. And then we do have Rob Gronkowski, and we're going to have Jeremiah Dickey live as well. And I'll be watching for the injuries and guys that are out here, not out here. We'll be tracking all that here pretty shortly. Here's your head coach, by the way, Spencer Danielson, walking by. He's all business right here. There he is, smiling, a little wave from Spencer as he walks by. He's giving the pregame lap here, but appreciate you guys, and we'll do the best we can. It wouldn't be a BNN show without internet issues, but I think we're okay for now. I'll throw it to you guys for the next 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll check back in with you. Appreciate it, guys.
Fantastic. Thanks, BJ.
Hello, Coach D.
There we go. So, yeah, here live at Uncle Bob's Pizza. Got Kent, got Brad. Going to talk about the game a little bit. Obviously, this is a program that you guys know well, have been around, have played against, and then obviously beyond that, a spot going as a Mountain West champion into a big bowl game against, now a Big Ten opponent. It used to be a Pac-12 or a Pac-10 opponent, but just start off. You're coming off a Mountain West championship. Quick turnaround. I mean, 8 days after that Mountain West championship.
1 week.
Did you guys ever have a situation like that as coaches where
we had 2 weeks? We never had one.
Yeah.
It was this is a new deal to play it this quick.
It's actually better.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, when we had to worry about National Signing Day during the week. So we had a plane on ready.
Yeah.
Because if we were late battle with the recruit,
first week of preparation, sure, right? And then
there was
it
a plane
at
ready.
the game usually when we had signing day.
Yeah, literally a plane would ready if we had to get into a battle. Because you can visit kids back then.
Yeah,
like, hey, we may be shorthanded for a practice. If a kid's we think he's wavering, we need him. You guys are on a plane. You're out of here, and we'll just handle practice. So I think this is a lot more comfortable feeling preparing for a game and not less distractions with signing day actually over.
The bummer is, not even a they lost. It's over. They got the first down on 4th and 1. Crushed by that. Still cheer for Army all the time. So, those guys are having to turn around so fast. Anybody that's injured, you're not getting back.
Right.
But I think the flip side is it's done
home
and they're not doing anything. You think about the journey these guys have been on. They played New Year's Eve last year.
Yep.
I think we're back a week later and started off-season conditioning all the way in through, we're back here at December 13th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just been a long year. Those guys have had very little time off. It's, people ask about the Notre Dame thing, them opting out. Well, they're even more so, right? They went till middle of January last year. And then, some of them opting out because they're mad and they're taking their ball and going home. Yeah. Some of it is that, but some of it's also like, I think the players are like, well, if we're not playing for the national championship, I'm tired. My body's sore. Like I just need some rest. And if we can shut it down right now, instead of go play on whatever bowl game they would have been in, it's probably like the first or whatever.
The Pop-Tart Bowl, which they get a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
I think it was a complete bitch out move by the AD.
Well, supposedly their team voted they did not want to play
because they're crying because they didn't get a national championship.
Yeah, I know, but I'm also saying,
no, I agree. The players,
these guys now are getting, there's so many guys on the team getting paid. It's like it used to be a big deal if you went to one of those bowl games. They're like, hey, I'm getting my new Xbox.
Right. No, you're right.
A brand new TV.
Now it's 70th sweatsuit.
But I already got all that stuff.
But you off air, you opened up something. You're not sure, but I like to hit on that. And I didn't know that some NIL deals can be written in. You got to play in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's something that I've heard more and more programs are starting to do. Is they're starting to include, and they can phrase it different ways, whether it's like an opt-out clause or it's hey, you don't get the rest of your NIL checks until after the bowl season, which is why a lot of programs, like we saw Cam Ward last year, he played in the first half of the bowl game and then sat after halftime. Now, I don't know for sure if that was because it was an NIL thing where, hey, you have to play the one half to get paid, but that was the speculation there. And so, Washington, they've got the full team here. It sounds like no opt-outs for this game.
But again, for the start of the game, right?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I actually respect that. I respect that NIL contract like that.
That's been definitely written in, and I think that's something that you're going to see more and more going forward. The hard part is it's going to be really hard to enforce that all the time because, that can be a thing, right? Like you made us play and I got hurt and it hurt my draft stock. And you can imagine how that's going to go down in the future, right?
Well, I'd also assume I hope the player or the company, wherever it is, sat down and had a lawyer and said, okay, there is no injuries caused. We're not on the hook. That's why you have London Fog and have an insurance policy.
Right. Well, and I know for a long time, guys have been doing the insurance policies for the bowl games. I remember Jalen Smith, who was a linebacker at Notre Dame, was supposed to go top 10, blows out his knee in a Fiesta Bowl, and reports
Cowboys
come out.
Took him, right?
What was that?
The kid drafted by the Cowboys.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. He was supposed to be top 10 pick, ends up falling to like the second or third round because of a knee injury. And
Jake Butt, the tight end from Michigan, same type of deal.
And most of the guys have insurance policies throughout their entire senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time universities pay for those. The top universities pay for those. And it's just, and they go back and they slot you and go, okay, we think you're a third round pick. Here's the money. If you fall to the fourth, you make up for the difference. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think just go back to the NIL. I think that's a cool move. I think I'm a fan of players should play, but we'll discuss that, I'm sure, at some point when we talk about the opt-out.
Yeah, I mean, let's just dive into it. Obviously, some of the breaking news coming into this game is that left tackle Cage Casey not going to be playing in this game, opting out and going to be starting his training for the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft, and announced even this week we find out that he's not even with the team in LA. He's off doing his own thing. I mean, when you guys were coaching, it may be few and far between there were situations of opting out. It seems like it's becoming more and more prevalent. I guess I'll start here. What are your thoughts on Cage Casey opting out and deciding to pursue his NFL career instead of playing in this bowl game?
I'm going to go back. I think, and then Rid and I actually were talking about this on the way here. I think it's a personal decision, but I'm not a fan of it. I think, and I don't know the circumstances of everything. Like I don't know the ins. I don't know what the young man's going through right now. Not mentally or like that, but he could be banged up and we don't know about it, right? So that's a whole different situation. So you have to take what information you have. But there's not a history of opt-outs at Boise State in the past. Now there's been Rid reminding me a couple lately and things like that. But I can only go back to when I was here. Leighton Vander Esch played, Ezra played, guys played. Mm-hmm. And I just think, finish what you started. But if Cage is banged up, his body needs extra time to heal just to get into training, then it's the right decision. But we're not privy to that information.
Right.
Yeah. For all we know, he might be maybe he's not with the team because he had surgery on something that's been bothering him for a couple of days.
Could be, yeah.
I hope so.
I have no idea. I mean, I think it's unfair of me to judge because, it's not like Cage called me and asked me like what I thought. He's got an agent that's paid to advise him, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it's really shitty information. Sorry, BJ.
Yeah.
But you got to.
But I'm just saying. I mean, that's that guy's job is to maximize his value going into the draft.
I agree with you.
And so, that guy's trying to. Well, he's not attached to Boise State, right? Whoever his agent is, and I have no idea who it is.
I don't know who it is.
But he's not attached to Boise State. He's attached to Cage.
Sure.
So that he's taking all the emotion out of the decision and saying, "This is what you should do." You hired that guy because you believe he has your best interest at heart.
That's a part of the process. I agree with you 100. So that's a good point.
It's now that being said, I'd love for him to be playing, but I don't know. Like Brad said, I don't know his situation. I don't know if he's healthy. I don't know if he's burnout. Just a million different things. I don't know. Did the agent convince him not to play? Did he convince people close to him not to play? I mean, there's a million things that could be going on. And it's not fair for me to decide that. Like I said, I mean, the only guy I really dealt with it, and it's a totally different situation. I shouldn't say the only guy. The biggest guy I dealt with that on was Jay Ajayi going into, but we're playing in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
And Jay's banged up and he's been hurt. And he battled his ass off as long as he could and had a couple touchdowns and then finally had to come out. And that was kind of it. He was done. Because it didn't make sense for him to keep playing at that point, like being hurt and some of that stuff.
Right. But also, if they're in the Fiesta Bowl, they're getting ready for the playoff.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's
like Ashton and Ahmed played last year. You're not going to sit out. I mean, that's a national championship playoff, right?
But the year before, I know for sure Talon didn't play, and I feel like there's a couple other guys. But the other side, like Spencer got the head job the night before the game or the night of the game or something like that. I mean, it wasn't so. All these guys know is what they know at that point. And the 2 years prior to that, we didn't even play in bowl games.
But the other thing is, and I mentioned actually to the Brid tuna because I'm sure it's in the comments and we're not reading them right now, but it's some on social media said, well, he shouldn't play. It's the bowl game doesn't mean anything. And I will argue to that because there's 97%, 95, 98% of these kids, this will be the last time they play the game of football. So don't tell me that doesn't mean something to them.
Right.
Especially at Boise State University. And so that does mean something.
Some of these guys don't even probably know it's their last game. I mean,
No, they're going to train.
hoping-
They're going to do that, but
Yeah,
they just need to click their heels and say it's over.
You'd love for everybody to be a part of this all the way along. I just, I think I would go back to, probably ending in 19. We did probably have a precedent of, hey, like you're going to play.
Yeah, we did. There wasn't, but we didn't have we just assumed everybody was going to play.
Right. But then you get 20 and 21 where we couldn't/didn't go to bowl games that we were eligible for various reasons. And then you get kind of the weird thing in 22 and then, or 23, sorry, whatever it was.
With the weird thing being with Talon transferring, Maddox is hurt, so you're starting to,
the Las Vegas Bowl.
Yes.
Versus UCLA.
No, it was
the
LA Bowl.
LA Bowl.
Sorry, LA Bowl
Yeah.
versus UCLA.
And then last year being nobody's going to opt out of that, right? So, I mean, all these guys, like, all they know is what they know. They don't know the history of what it was like in 19 going forward.
Right.
None of these guys are around. And my guess is Mark Thornton there. So we're in good shape if I see Mark. But all these guys know is what they know, unless some of these guys reach out to them. I mean, I think about like John Bates was dying to play another game in 20 and
voted it down.
We didn't.
And not everyone that year wanted to.
Yeah, for
there was other
so many
reasons for that
thousands
too
of
that
reasons.
I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's not university based. But
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with Harsin taking the Auburn job like that.
No,
that hadn't happened.
none.
I mean, it wasn't that. That decision was made long before when we found out we might have to leave guys at home isolated.
Protocols isolated, and they're going to miss Christmas. So let's not. That when that comes down, and these kids have not been able to go home. Parents haven't been able to see them because we had to. Hey, we can't. You got to stay away from your parents a little bit because we got to play.
Right.
That's just it's a weird year, and knowing that if you guys test positive before we leave, you're going to be in isolation in a dorm room here on campus, and
all through break.
You're not going home.
So the team was like, "Hey, we're not leaving anybody behind. We're out."
Right.
Which I respected that one.
Yeah,
I respected that one.
Absolutely. And then the next year with Andy's first year, we just didn't have enough guys to be able to
Yeah,
go.
because half the team tested positive
right before
or
we were gonna
something.
leave.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, all right, so.
I do think part of it too, I think COVID changed a little bit of the perception for these guys. I think prior to 2020, if a guy opted out a bowl game, I think that would have been seen as a red flag in some NFL front offices at least. And then in 2020, you've got guys like Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase who sit out the whole season because of all the protocols and whatnot. They get drafted and obviously are doing very well in the NFL. And I think now from an NFL front office perspective, that's not a red flag anymore if a guy opts out of the bowl game, which for a guy like Cage Casey who will get drafted, he's probably not going to be a top 20 pick, but it's not something that's going to be a knock on your resume. It guarantees you're healthy. And like you guys said, maybe is.
Oh, I don't think it's a knock at all.
Yeah. But 10 years ago, it would have been. I think,
probably.
Huge.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah, I think now way more it's like he didn't play the bowl game. I think what the knock's not probably the right word, but I think there would have been some interest in the NFL guys watching him play against UW and Big Ten and Lyman.
Leighton Vander Esch was Oregon.
I think they would have. Yeah, I think
Ezra versus Washington.
Exactly.
Leighton Vander Esch made a lot of money in that Oregon game.
No question. A lot of money. Even Seb Wilson, same thing.
Another
great example.
So I think there would have been interest in seeing him play, but they're not going to penalize him for not playing.
Right.
I agree with you.
And from his perspective, played against Notre Dame, played really well. Played against Penn State last year, played really well. Like maybe from his perspective, he's saying, I've got enough film against top level,
for sure,
NFL competition.
And even throughout his career, I mean, they've seen him against.
He doesn't know his
good Mountain West players, good.
Yeah,
good players at Memphis or Georgia State or wherever. So
it comes down to a point, and I think this is a decision a lot of kids have to make: is okay, if I play in this game and I do play bad, what's going to happen? Nothing. The process doesn't change. They still have a grade versus good competition.
Right.
and Cage has no idea where he's going.
Right.
I mean, you can't attach him to a first round right now. You can attach him to, anything. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's
But
too
it's
these
too
early
early.
mock drafts. Like,
But
we haven't been through workouts, any of that stuff.
They have, like, Spencer's done his homework. He sat down with him, and you have to respect those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for something that we don't know everything, that's where I don't like, oh my God, I can't. But no,
I'll tell you,
until you live in his shoes.
I feel the absolutely, and we're trying to defend the decision and maybe not defend the decision, but explain it a little bit. But to me, I guess I'm a little bit more where Spencer is. Like, hey, he's not playing. We all know that now. Move on. Let's talk about the guys that are.
Yeah. Which I know there's some
point.
questions in the comment. Who's going to replace him? It sounds like it'll probably be Kyle Cox, who I think has played 50 snaps this year, I think it was 98 snaps last year. So he's got a little bit of experience, but obviously not Cage Casey, not a guy who's put together
Not
over
yet.
2,000. Not yet.
I remember people being like, who's going to replace Matt Hill way back? Matt was like one of the first guys drafted in a while here at Boise State, and Darren College stepped in the next year and played, 55 games or whatever.
Worked out well for him, didn't it?
Pretty good football.
He left, and Ryan Clady slid over.
Worked out well for him too, didn't it?
So, part of it's, hey, next man up, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
BJ's nervous. He wants to get his BJ, how many fans are there? You should be able to turn around and count.
I would say, I don't know if they've actually even opened the doors yet. I don't think they have. And you guys are looking on the screen about 20 seconds delayed when you're seeing something compared to what people are seeing. So I don't know if you're seeing the D linemen going through their drills here in the end zone. But by the way, there's a comment that those Sun Cruisers are getting a little lukewarm over there. So Brad, maybe you need to crack one of those open there for us here. Come on.
They're lukewarm for sure.
There we go.
Yeah, we're having a great time at the Sun Cruiser Studios.
There you go. Appreciate that. Hey,
Rob, we want to talk about the guys that aren't playing. I see Jaden Virgin Morgan right there. He looks like he's ready to go.
Yep.
He's pretty good.
Braxton Feely right here, as folks can see. He's got the cleats on, geared up, ready to go. I did see a pretty heavy knee brace, by the way, on Daylon Matoyer, the right tackle. I have not seen him come back out, but when he walked in for the pregame prayer, by the way, guys, you may see something fun here. I'm trying to keep myself off camera because the punters seem like they appear to be taking aim right at me here, so this could be fun in the end zone here. But I don't know if you guys talked about right tackle at all yet, but Daylon Matoyer looks like he could be out. We'll wait and see.
BJ, I've seen you try and catch a punt. It shouldn't be a problem.
I caught one. That was the only thing I did on media day that didn't get me laughed at. I actually caught a punt. So I can do that if that happens.
Is that before or after the broad jump?
That was after the broad jump.
I finished strong with the broad jump there for sure. After that, but Jeremiah Irby, he's coming out now. He's suited up. There's Ty Benefield right there going through some drills here on the other end. But they're starting to trickle their way out here. What is there any difference, guys? Just you see how massive this stadium is here. As I'll kind of pan around a little bit. It might be a dumb question, but any difference? I think I asked you about this on Riley and Rid, but just about the size of the stadium and the fact that it'll be mostly empty today. Is there any? What's that like? As a player going from playing in Reno or something to all of a sudden playing in an 80,000 seat stadium like this.
Have you seen Hoosiers?
Yes.
Yeah, they come out and they're going to measure the goalposts are still 10 feet. It's still 53 and a third, 120 yards. I mean, I think those guys are probably thinking it's a pretty cool place, and they're enjoying that a little bit when they walked out when they got there, and now it's just into pregame mode. And once the game starts, we play in empty stadiums all the time.
I was about to say. You played in San Jose. You've played in Nevada. You've played in
absolutely. But I'm not even saying that. Like, I mean, legitimately empty stadiums, like scrimmages, stuff like that. Almost every practice is like that. We
bring your own energy.
Yeah, the BYOE game. Bring your own energy. But these guys will be fired up to play, and I'm sure UW will be fired up to play too.
You hear the conversations in the crowd. That's where it gets a little awkward.
Yeah.
Well, or it is like a scrimmage, right? When you're yelling out the checks or the protection from the sideline, or defense is yelling it out. And, normally you're doing that and nobody on the field has any idea. You're just yelling from the sideline. But here you can actually help. You might be able to yell from the press box.
No doubt.
It is quite the sight to see, even as a St. Louis Rams fan back in the day, which, by the way, it pains me, guys, to see that 1999 Super Bowl champion banner there in the end. And no mention of, that was not won when they were here in L.A. That does pain me a little bit. But this place is pretty impressive, pretty massive for a size. And I can only imagine whether it be for a playoff game, whether it be for a college football playoff game, when this place is packed, for a big NFL game. I can imagine this being a pretty cool spot here, and there'll be an NFL game here tomorrow. I mean, the Rams, they kind of did the end zones. They left the end zones with the Los Angeles Rams thing here to try to make it not as much work for them to switch it over by tomorrow for the NFL game. But this is a pretty cool stadium, and like I said, a pretty cool opportunity. I know this team has gotten to play in, 4 or 5 NFL stadiums the last couple of years, but pretty cool deal to play in this stadium if that's one day your goal of playing here as a professional.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten to play in some pro stadiums, but I've been to that stadium, to SoFi. Like, compared to Tampa, compared to Vegas,
not even close.
Like, that's the first stadium I've walked into that I was like, this thing's on another level.
Yeah, I was there for the Chargers-Rams games a couple weeks ago. And I got out on there and I looked around. I was like, Raiders. And I looked around. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this place is awesome.
Yeah. It's.
I mean,
you played in most of the NFL
played in a lot of NFL stadiums. And you look at how high it is, and you're like, this place can get really loud in a hurry. And it is an impressive stadium. Just from everything from fans to get a cold beer to what. I don't think there's a bad seat, unless you're up in the top corner in section 900, but I don't think anybody's going to be there tonight. But I think, but that place is truly impressive when you sit down. That's one of the few I've looked around and I was like, wow. That and old Chicago Bears Stadium, just because the history of the Chicago Bears, you're looking around, you're like, okay, this is really cool.
Yeah.
SoFi is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I highly recommend, if you can go to SoFi, go to SoFi.
Yeah, I would agree.
But in terms of the actual game, you're not saying, like you said, you can hear their calls maybe, but I mean, in basketball arenas, sometimes they say if there's a different depth perception that messes with your shot. I mean, there's no, is it any different either for kickers or when you're trying to catch a pass, if there's more in the background than typical? Or
no, because they don't have the fans in the background. Not if it's full, maybe, but no, not tonight. Not tonight. I think they're going to make their money off of television on ads, not the game.
They usually average about 30,000 in the 80,000 seat stadium here, so it'll be less than half full is what it typically is.
It's just not going to be very loud, which is a good thing.
But would you still rather play in a half empty this stadium than some of the other stadiums we've talked about, like a New Mexico Bowl or something that's maybe as full, or not?
I can't hear him totally.
He was saying, the difference between playing between this stadium that's maybe, less than half full if you're versus a New Mexico Bowl or
we played in some empty stadiums.
No, I'm just saying for a bowl game, you'd rather still do this even if it's empty?
Oh no, I'd want to load it. Like when we played Washington, Las Vegas Bowl. That place was sold out.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's
I mean, to answer your question, it means something to have the stadium full, just because the energy of
we're just
everything.
not going to fill that. This is too big a
just
stadium
hard to fill.
and a week's notice. I think Bronco Nation will probably travel pretty well
because most of we'll California kids,
and I think UW same thing. I mean, I'll bet you. It's just it's like playing at the Rose Bowl when you play UCLA.
They have like a home
there might be 30,000 people in there, but it's 110,000.
It's a big stadium.
You guys were talking about I got a real football question here. You guys were talking about maybe both tackles being out tonight. Brad, I guess Kent, you too. I mean, is there something, if Nate Potter's known all week that both his tackles are going to be out, is there something game plan wise that he can change in a week to expect more pressure coming from the outside maybe than usual? And how could he combat maybe young, inexperienced tackles in a game like this?
I don't think UW's probably going to change their game plan a whole bunch, but I do think you're going to see a lot of the tight ends and running backs staying in to help and get out late.
But chipping, that type of thing. But so I was just looking at this. The most sacks they have is by the edge at only 3.5. So I want to know, I haven't seen a lot of Washington football on defense. They must have a lot of blitz packages to create quarterback issues. But yes, I would say tight ends are going to chip. I think tailbacks are going to chip. I would also, through scouting,
quick,
get the ball
or
quick.
keep an extra guy in and roll away from one of the guys.
Find your mismatch. Where's the mismatch? Where can you set the back and jump the back to hide your protection schemes to get that chip to, so you're not going to isolate a certain tackle? Are you going
and I think run the ball is key, right? I mean, try and stay in favorable down and distance.
Yes.
I mean,
I
would say this: if we get to
back.
3rd and 15. Don't be surprised if we're throwing a quick screen or running the ball.
Right, until they get the feel of the game, and if everything's working out, things like that. But if you're getting 3rd and 10 plus, you're going to see some 3-man combo routes, something like that, to really help Maddox and keep him up.
If you're a coach and you're watching this game, guys, like what early should fans be looking for, especially in the trenches and up front on both sides of the ball, to say, okay, Boise State's, they're hanging, they got a chance in this, or this might be a long night. Like what are you looking for early in a game up front to try to see if they can handle some of this?
Yeah, positive run plays. I mean, trying to stay ahead of the change, get to 2nd and medium, and keeping a run down, and then
I almost caught a ball there, almost hit me in the leg.
And then just keeping Maddox clean.
Yeah, if you can run the ball, you feel real good about it.
So a question on that. In the run game, is there certain concepts you can run that sort of help your tackles if they're brand new? Like, are you running more outside zone? Are you running more duo? Like, what sort of concepts do you want to see work well?
I think it depends on what they're capable of, right? I mean, if these guys are very athletic, you might see them pull more.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what these guys, because I haven't paid that close attention. Like, what are they really good at?
If I was game planning it in that regard, I would get with Rid and go, okay, we need to run some duo to make sure we can qualify for some good double teams at the point. What's going to be the answer to that? Okay, well, we're just going to go to 4 down. We're going to isolate the tight end, which I would rather have them. If you can get them in 4 down and have our tight ends isolate that one-on-one matchup, because our tight ends can block. Boise State tight ends can flat out block. Now you can get the tackles double team with the guards and things like that. I would tend to inside-wise run a little bit of duo, and I agree with Rid. Get it on the perimeter. If they're athletic and they can play in space, block down, cut the edge, wrap it around, find a seam, and go.
A bunch of that where the tackles are out.
A lot of Malik Sherrod in the screen game, maybe.
At the end of we're offensive guys, so we're sitting here talking about the offense, but a lot of this scene come down to the defense, kind of stepping up and playing like they have been. And, we don't want to play from behind. We got to keep.
There you go. There you go. You guys, 1 bounce. Take that. There you go.
It'll come up on the TV in a second, but he caught the punt.
I was lucky. I was lucky I was looking because it was bouncing right for me. So on 1 bounce, those are some hands right there. Rid, I could have played for you.
But no, I think that's going to be part of the key to the game is like just the defense. Here we go. There's BJ. Nice play.
Sorry, we're catching it on a delay, guys.
I'm the only ones in the world watching it 20 seconds behind. But
I know.
Oh, good. I want to see our defense come out and do what they've been doing. I got no reason to think they won't, other than UW. Their quarterback is very mobile. He can run. I think they got a good tailback and a good receiver. So
I think that. I mean, we're talking a lot about this offense. I agree with Rid. If Boise can't control the quarterback and keep him in the pocket, make him throw, things like that, it's going to be tough on this defense.
Sorry, Brad.
And he's one, and I'm so excited tonight to see Shenander's blitz. what he's going to do on third down because he's going to have something. I mean, 8 days, we're not talking about a lot, but Schneider's done a lot in 2 days.
And these are teams we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
BJ showing off his guns or his jacket.
Either. A little bit of the jacket. He did ask about Malik Sherrod in the screen game. Is that something you've got 2 new offensive linemen? Are you running more screen game? Or are you going to typically run less? Or is it just dependent on the personnel and what their strengths are?
I think there's a lot of different types of screens, and it depends. Are you trying to get the tackles out? Or are you trying to let them set and give pressure up? You know, what are we trying to do?
Well,
and
in 8 days, you don't all of a sudden get the tackles out in space if you're to major in that.
Yeah,
in the whole
not
course
if
of the
that's
season.
not what they've been doing. So.
If you can get your interior screens and your tailback screens and things like that, and give the tackles less pressure.
Some of the tight ends and some of the stuff they've done off their naked game. You know, I mean, they're not going to drastically change who we are. They're going to try and protect those guys, but I think the key to that, really more than anything, is just staying in favorable down and distance.
I'm hearing a lot of inside zone, a lot of run up the middle, keep things simple.
Well, yeah, but you can't,
at least early on, to kind of catch your bearings.
Let the kids, let the tackles put their hand in the ground and come off the ball.
Yeah, and some stuff where they can jump set and not have to get in.
Change the set point. Yeah, so they're not just vertical setting all the time, and now the DN looks at it and goes, okay, here we go. I know the exact set you're doing every time. Let them 45, let them jump, let them vertical. So now you're changing the sets on the DNs, so now that'll slow him down. Rim them, read them if you have to. Just mess with them. I wouldn't be – I'd be surprised. That's not fair. I'd like for him to run some type of crack sweep. Now, I know they can't crack hard and put him on his back like the old days, but now the DN just mess with them. So now it'll slow them down. That'll help the tackles in the run game. I'm not saying run up the middle every time. I mean, that's not always the answer.
Yeah, right.
It's a bad answer.
We are an inside zone duo
and
a little bit of mid zone stuff.
But a lot of things
we're going to see some duo.
Duo can balance and get on the edge too.
And we're going to see some of that so that they can get some double teams, help those guys out, and run away from the backside tackles, just kind of getting the guy upfield. So cut them. But that's no different than last year. I mean, we ran that play. I don't know, enough to get Ashton
2,600 yards.
Yeah. So
a lot of mid zone.
It's not like that's something different.
I was actually going to ask you guys about that because if you remember at this bowl game 2 years ago, that's when the Ashton Genty Heisman campaign started with the T-shirts and the logo and him announcing that he was coming back to Boise State, and that was kind of a big deal. What kind of coming out party for a Dylan Riley or a Sire Gaines or some, who's the next wave, I guess, that could really help themselves going into next year in this game?
I got no idea. I'll tell you after the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had an answer.
I mean, all
for
those guys, I think, but maybe Maddox, might be one of the receivers, might be.
But you could see your future left tackle.
I was going to say Kyle
for
Cox.
The next 3 years.
Yeah, if Kyle Cox comes out and plays really well, and in the limited reps he's had, it's looked pretty good. Washington's not Colorado State, right? It's going to be a tougher. But if he holds up and plays well, all of a sudden you go into next year thinking 2 hours ago, man, left tackle might be an issue point. They might try to have to find someone in the portal to thinking, hey, we've got another good one. Like we've got another guy that could play. So, yeah, I'm with you. Kyle Cox, left tackle.
It'll just be I don't think we're going to know that until after the game.
Oh, I agree with you there. But if they play well, but the other thing is right tackle plays pretty well. And all of a sudden now I've told you this. Now you got Matoyer. Can he go inside?
Mm-hmm.
Can he, because losing Mason, can he go inside? And that's going to bring some really big size and length interior wise, which you really want. So there's so many, like if those two tackles play really well, now you got some pieces. Now they're playing chess.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just putting people in place in the offseason, and you won't have to go to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, while I've got decent internet here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and play this short interview with Rob Gronkowski that we just did a few minutes ago. So if you guys want to have a beer, you get a 5-minute break here. Hopefully, folks will come join you at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. The guys are there for the pregame show. They got all kinds of specials on food, specials on drink. go join the guys there at Uncle Bob's, and I will buy you a Sun Cruiser. If you go to Uncle Bob's and say you heard us talking about it on the pregame show, your first Sun Cruiser is on BNN. So was hoping to get Rob Gronkowski on live, and we couldn't quite make that happen. So right before the show started, myself and Channel 7, we taped a short 5-minute interview with Rob Gronkowski. You may need to turn your sound up a little bit for this one, but Rob Gronkowski on hosting his own bowl, on racing blitz, on what he thinks about Boise State's program. This is the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Here's Rob Gronkowski with the Channel 7 and BNN here just a few minutes ago.
Yes, I'm feeling really good. I'm super excited about the matchup today. The bucked up LA Bowl here at SoFi Stadium. It's going to be popping. I already feel the energy here. Boise State just arrived to the stadium on the team buses. They got out, all pumped up and ready to go. And just to see their faces when they walk into the stadium through the tunnel is just glorious. I mean, it's unbelievable. These guys just in college get to play, a bowl game here at SoFi Stadium, one of the most premier stadiums in all of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you've done so much in the world of football, from Super Bowls you played in college. I mean, now you're hosting the bowl game. What does this mean for you to look back on? How special is this for you?
It's really special. I mean, to put my name, and expand my brand on a bowl game is just, extraordinary. It's just phenomenal, man. It's just one of the coolest things because I got my brother here, Chris, actually, who went to college with me at the University of Arizona, and we got, Arizona to their first bowl game in the last 10 years when we were there in 2007. They haven't been to a bowl game in 10 years, and we were part of getting them there. And we went to the Las Vegas Bowl, actually, which is this bowl game now that moved here to LA. So very special to have my brother here, and we have those memories that are stuck and engraved in us for the rest of our lives. And that's what's going to make this game so special. These guys are going to come out of this game and remember this game for the rest of their life.
I know everyone in Boise saw you race blitz the last time. Have you been stretching? Are you ready for this rematch?
Yes, I worked out this morning, but not too hard, just to loosen everything up, to activate my legs, to activate all my muscles so I can give it my best shot versus blitz. I think it's his very last race for, what I can recall and what I've been hearing on the street. So I might let him win just because of that reason, because I'm a dog guy. I got a dog. I love dogs so much. And blitz has to go out on top. I'm going to give him my best shot. But I'm hoping that blitz wins fair and square, just so he can walk away and be like, I just won my last race and beat the Gronkster, that tight end that everyone knows, the Gronk. I whooped his butt. He's nothing compared to me, Mr. Blitz.
It does sound like you're couching it a little bit. Are you not sure you could beat him if you went full blast?
I mean, I got a little advantage 2 years ago. Blitz, yeah, he picks up the tee all the time. He picks it up and brings it back to the sideline. And when we were racing, and we had to run to the tee and then run back to the end zone. So I didn't know that. He picked up the tee and went back to the sideline. So it was advantage me. It was kind of like, a little cheat code because of that. So I want to beat him fair and square if I do beat him. So he got a little bit confused last time. Hopefully there's no tee out there. Because the tee's going to trick him because he's so well trained and he does his job. That just shows how well he knows how to do his job, is that he knows to grab that tee and bring it back to the sideline. So hopefully I beat him fair and square and there's no tee out there this time.
What is your thoughts on Boise State's program? And obviously everybody knows about their rise kind of from that first Oklahoma game to now, but just to see what they've done the last 2 decades as a football fan and former player.
Oh, I was so pumped when I saw that Boise State was going to be a possibility to be here at the LA Bowl. I saw they struggled a little bit, at the beginning of the year, but that just shows how resilient, they are as a team and as a program. It's a program that's out of the Power 4 conferences, and I would say I put them up as the top program out of the Power 4 conferences. I mean, they've been going to BCS bowl games for, a couple times over the last 2 decades. They were in the playoffs last year. So to have a storied program like Boise State here, in the bucked up LA Bowl, I was honored and I was very happy to see when they won the Mountain West Conference, championship game last week. And I was pumped up to have head coach Spencer here once again. Great guy. He's my age. We both graduated in 2007 out of high school. And it's just wild to see that he is my age and he has so much success when he took over Boise State, as an intern head coach, and then they gave him the role as the head coach, and And now 2 years later, here we are again at the LA Bowl. Boise State lost actually 2 years ago here to UCLA, so this is a good game to get that redemption and walk away with a win here at the LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium.
That was my final question. You kind of are on record now saying you got Boise State winning this thing.
Yes, yesterday I said Boise State has to win this game because of the redemption, factor that they lost to UCLA 2 years ago. So I like how Boise State, they're hot right now. They went on a little win streak at the end of the year and got themselves into the Mountain West Conference Championship game. I feel like they're underdog, but I feel like they're going to come out and surprise a lot of people out here. And let me tell you, Washington's a legit opponent. Washington's a very powerful school. They have 4 losses this year, but those 4 losses, 3 of them came to top programs out there in the nation. So I'm expecting this to be, a very, very close game. And that's what the fans are hoping for as well, just like myself. We want a really good football game, but we got 2 great opponents too. We're lucky to be here, on national television, on ABC, in front of the whole world. It's the only football game that's going to be playing tonight right after the Heisman, ceremony. So it's going to be a special night, for both teams. It's going to be a special atmosphere here, and I can't wait for kickoff.
There he is, Rob Gronkowski, meeting with us just a short time ago. As you see now, guys, the Broncos are on the field here for early warm-ups. You have the skill position players, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, all out here going through their early stretching. So now we can start to check off the list here of guys we see, guys we don't see. There's Chris Marshall over there, suited up, ready to go. Latrell Caples, Cam Bates, Chase Penry, Malik Sherrod. There is Quentin Brown, he's ready to go. So it looks like from a receiver standpoint, running back standpoint, who we thought we would see tonight for Boise State, we do. There's Zion Washington, Ty Benefield. There was some wonder about him opting out, playing in this game. Ty Benefield is suited up, going through early warm-ups over there as well. Jeremiah Irby is ready to go. Of course, Maddox Madsen. There is Matt Lauder. There was some question about him, but you see him right there in the front of your screen, number 85. He's ready to go. Matt Wagner. So, guys, at least from the skill position players, looks like a full complement of players here other than Cage Casey to this point.
They have everybody besides Cage.
Yeah, it seems like everybody besides Cage. I mean, good to see, obviously, Ty Benefield out there. I know there was some speculation on whether or not he would opt out, which – I don't know. Cage Casey was obviously we knew 3 weeks ago that he was going to declare, whereas it sounded like Ty Benefield maybe a little bit more on the fence, whether or not he's even going to declare. I don't know, guys. Do you have any thoughts? Should Ty Benefield declare? Should he come back above your pay grade?
Yeah, they have a process set up to identify that stuff. And, if the NFL comes back, tells him he's a first-round pick, then he probably
he's got to play in the game to get the grade. So he'll put in his name in the NFL.
Now, behind the scenes, what I have heard is that he could improve his draft stock by coming back next year because more people, he'll get more GMs and high-level scouting people to come here, watch a game, watch him play, meet with, all that kind of stuff, as if he comes out as an underclassman this year that they weren't really expecting, and the most kind of scrambling to evaluate it.
And the most improved position group of all year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That secondary.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
I think, and I've been critical, I'll say it again, but I think what that young man has done, probably as a leader of that group, he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Him and the coach, they've done a great, they're the most improved position group on this football team.
Like BJ's trying to show us his guns or something.
I'm fixing the other camera angle so you guys can get a good view here of the warm-ups going on. There's none of that going on here. Come on. It's just bad amateur camera work because I'm by myself here on the field trying to run 2 cameras and a whole broadcast here. So doing the best we can to provide you guys this footage here.
You're crushing it, BJ.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
This wouldn't be any fun if we didn't show up and give you crap.
How great is Mount Lauder's stash?
The playoff the postseason stash here, it's looking pretty good.
How great is it?
It's phenomenal. I'm just glad to see him out here, guys, because he got injured a little bit, got a big shot in that championship game, and he's a guy that wants to play at the next level too. So I was, frankly, just curious if he was a guy that was going to get out there and battle for his team and play in this game, and he's out here ready to go.
BJ, he has to.
A lot different.
He looks like a young Tom Selleck in Blue Bloods. Dude, I love it.
Magnum PI.
What guy?
Magnum PI. Yeah, there he is. Matt Lauder needs an NIL deal with the redoing of Magnum PI.
Or the what were the OP shorts?
What
Smuggling tonsil.
BJ, one guy it looks like is warming up out there. It's good to see is Chase Penry. He took a shot, went up with what looked like a hip or groin injury at the end of the Mountain West Championship and didn't come back into the game. So that's, you talk about like getting to see these guys start to run. Chase Penry's out there. He's warming up. He's looking good. I think that's great news for Bronco Nation because Chase Penry's been playing really stinking well since Ben Ford went down.
BJ's guns when he's turning around. J-Mo's looking a lot better. So.
Yeah, and Sire Gaines right now, guys, I'm not sure if what angle you're seeing on the delay, but Sire Gaines, a very passionate address here. He's making his way, looking eye to eye with a lot of these guys, just going in a little bit of a circle here. You could say bowl games don't matter, whatever you want to say, but if you saw Sire Gaines right now from 30 feet away like I can, he is just absolutely getting in some of these guys' faces. He is fired up. Guys are nodding yes and no, and if you're seeing this right now, you can't tell me these guys aren't fired up for this one today.
That's my whole thing, and I'll go back to it. Are you putting the ball down? Are you playing the game? If you're playing the game, you're putting the ball down, you better go win it. You're going to go win it, and that's a mindset. And that's a mindset where this program has had for a long time. So it means it. If you're putting the ball down and you're keeping score, then it means something. And you can go back. It's life. Everything's judged right now. So these players, what they put on tape is going to go on to NFL or not NFL. It doesn't matter, but it means something. You're putting the ball down, you're keeping score. Go beat somebody's butt and move on.
How much of it is coaching? Are you able to help dictate that and influence it? Because I know sometimes motivation levels can just vary in these games. Like we haven't really seen it at Boise State. Like maybe the 2019 Vegas Bowl, but there's like some games. I remember there was a Vegas Bowl between Florida and Oregon State where you watched Florida's effort out there, and it was like, all right, this team didn't want to play today. Is that all just player-led?
Or is that something
that it clearly, I mean, you talked about Sire Gaines, his speech he's giving, but in your guys' experience, is that something is that player-driven, that if there's a little bit extra desire as a coaching staff, is that your job to coordinate that environment?
Both.
Yes, absolutely.
Both.
Absolutely. And you're going to your leaders, you're trying to do that, but if you wait till game day to try and get that, like –
I'll tell you this right now.
I would say a lot more had to be dependent on how practice went this week. I stopped by for a couple minutes, and I mean, I saw him getting after it. So I don't see that as something that's going to be much of an issue.
I would say as a coach, Ridden, I know you've done this, you go into that position group and you're setting the tone for the week. And that's the way it is. And there is as a coach, you don't grade effort. If you grade effort, your ass is on the bench. Period. I'm not here to grade effort.
It's binary. It's 1-0.
It's 0. If you have no effort, you're going to be standing next to me with a clipboard in your hand. Yeah. That's the way it is.
We'll put in whoever we have to put in. If
I'm not dealing with that issue, I'm not dealing with it. We're not having a discussion. And if I see it, you just get in the portal and leave.
But that won't happen.
Be an issue. No, that's not a judgment here. But if it does judge, bye, Felicia.
I think that's a bigger problem at a place
like Florida,
SEC. That's why I think the SEC's got a really poor bowl record, other than the playoff. A lot of the kids opt out, or they're like, "Why am I going to play in the Pop-Tart Bowl? I'm at Florida."
Well, and it's something that I know some guys who are more involved in those programs have talked about is, especially in the NIL era, if you're taking a bunch of transfers, paying them a bunch of money, it's hard to build a culture. So if all of a sudden you lose 2 or 3 games, the guys are like, "Oh, we're here to collect the check. We're not winning national championship."
And we even said, well, you can say that part, but we said it before. Some of these guys being forced to play, like, might try and find a way off the field.
Right. That's a fair point. But go ahead, guys. I'm glad you said that. This is where this staff in the Boise way has to come through in the portal. It's not about you.
Right.
It's about the school. It's about the culture. It's about the way we do things. And that's why it's like you're going from the slow lane to the fast lane in the portal, but you are having multiple conversations. Like, I want you to understand this is the culture and you have to fit in this culture.
Yeah.
And if we think you don't fit, you're out.
We're spending a lot of time talking about the guys that aren't playing,
out.
whatever.
Get out.
I would like to mention one more guy, though, while we're on there. Daylon Matoyer, guys, number 75, right tackle, is not out here warming up. So looks like Boise State is going to be without a right tackle and a left tackle in this game. You can see on the far right side of the screen, Mason Randolph. He's ready to go. Roger Carrion does have a knee brace on his right knee, but he's out here warming up as well. Tyler Kyneth. I'm going down the line. There's Kyle Cox, number 70, right in the middle of the screen. I see 68. We have the Steele brothers out here. Zach Holmes as well. So it looks like the rest of the O-line's ready to go. But no right tackle, Daylon Matoyer. And, again, once they get out here for warm-ups, we'll be able to kind of let you know who's playing where. But does, in fact, look like it's official now. Both tackles out for Boise State tonight.
I mean, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for Jake Steele. Like, Daylon Matoyer at right tackle, he's been the starter all year, but it hasn't been convincing. Like, that's an open position, I think, going into
gotten a ton better as the season's gone on.
Yeah,
a ton. And I want to give him credit for that, because it would have been easy the first few weeks for him to just give up. And with the stuff he was taking, and man, I give that guy a ton of credit for how much better he's gotten. And he's going to be one of the starting 5 next year. And I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up being the left tackle.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. But I maybe even to that point, you know, if you feel like you can move Daylon Matoyer around, Jake Steele, it's going to be his first chance to get real starting minutes for Boise State at the D1 level. Like, if you come out here and have a big game, all of a sudden you might be playing for a starting spot or getting yourself in sort of that initial 5 when fall camp kicks off next year. You give you the chance to compete. So
spring ball.
Yeah, we had talked about it, that it seemed like that was a possibility that Matoyer wouldn't go. I think Jake's
here. You can see him right here in the middle of the end zone, by the way, guys. I don't know how delayed your shot is, but he is standing here, not suited up, got a knee brace on his left knee. And Brad, how tough is that, man? He started all season, played really well later in the season. I know, as you guys said, was getting some criticism early in the year, but came back and played serviceable and well, and chance to get hurt and not be able to play that last game. What do you think's going through kind of his mind right here watching this?
I mean, I feel for the kid because he's hurt, and nobody wants to see that. I feel for the whole O-line because you're replacing 2 of your starting tackles in one game versus a Big Ten team. That sums it up, right?
Tall task.
It's a tall task. It's a tall task but this isn't a surprise to Coach Keene and the staff.
Right.
This isn't a surprise. So
they've known this all week.
They've known this. So now they can, we talked about it earlier with protections in the run game. We hit on that. I more or less feel bad for the young man because he can't play, and he probably really wants to play. And he's just got to get healthy. And I feel for young men that are hurt and can't play the game they love. And that's why I feel for them. But they'll be ready to go tonight, and they're just going to have to play a physical brand of football versus a physical Washington team.
And I think it's a tremendous opportunity for Tim Keene in this O-line room to flex their muscles, because every time an interior guy's gotten hurt over the last 2 years, someone came in and played well in replacement, whether it was Jason Steele, Tyler Kyneth, Zach Holmes, right? Like, if you've got 2 tackles that come in first time starting all season and play well against a Big Ten opponent, I mean, Tim Keene's going to go home feeling pretty good about himself in the job he's done.
Coach Keene's done a great job all the past 2 years.
Yes, he has.
He's done a good job, and he's known. He'll get them ready. Right now, the lights got to come on, and let's see how
see how it goes.
Coach Keene, I feel this is one thing I feel. This is why I'm very happy to be with you guys. Coach Keene's going to have to play Dr. Phil for the first couple of drives. And every coach in 17, when I got there, we started brand new 4 to 5 starters. I was playing Dr. Phil the first. That guys, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. You just got to settle in. You got to settle in. You'll settle in. You'll settle in. And so I think that Coach Keene needs to encourage them how to settle in. He knows their personalities. He knows how to coach them in that regard. Let them settle in. And so if things don't go well in the first drive or two, just relax. Just settle in. This is where I think if the defense can shut them down, Washington's offense, get them more snaps early, they'll settle in faster and everything will be okay. But if I'll talk to this right now, the quarterback's a problem.
Yeah.
And if you do not play it right, he will run all over you.
Is there anything you saw? Because obviously Anthony Calandria, the UNLV starting quarterback, similarly dynamic quarterback who can throw, he can run. Was there anything you saw in the Mountain West Championship, the way that they played Calandria, that either encourages you or on the flip side say, hey, I'd probably do something differently?
Totally encouraged.
Totally.
I mean,
After
they did
that
a great
first
job keeping him in the pocket other than a couple plays.
That first
And
quarterback
that's probably
run,
gonna
we were
happen.
sitting there watching like, oh boy, here we go. And then guess what? Shut down. So they're making I'm not saying they're adjustments, but they're coaching them to fit things right that will help. Now I think this Washington quarterback is a better athlete than the UNLV kid.
Yeah.
And he ain't very big, he ain't very tall, but I think there's a difference in athleticism. And that's what I hope we don't see a whole lot of that tonight because he's a very good football player.
As you guys can see, the specialists are now out here in full game uniform going through the early kicks and things. White jerseys, white pants, blue helmets. It's the same look as Notre Dame, although they switched up the face masks, blue face masks for this one as well. Last time they were in this game, guys, they had those weird orange uniforms, but going a little more traditional for this one. But the specialists are out here now. And Rid, I know a guy you're obviously close with, Mason Hutton, snapping out here, a guy that has done a lot for this program kind of behind the scenes. He's had a heck of a career as a snapper.
Heck yeah, he's been awesome. He's a guy I hope gets an opportunity at the next level. I would expect to see him continue that today. I'd like to see all those guys play well today. That'll be big.
What you guys only got about 5 minutes or so. We got Jeremiah Dickey that's going to come on, and I know you guys got stuff to get to, but I'll throw it back to you, Nathan, for 5 minutes or so if you guys want to get to some keys to the game and maybe some score predictions from those guys before we let them loose.
Thanks, BJ. Yeah, keys to the game. Boise, if we look up in 4 hours, we come on the post-game show, said Boise State knocks off Washington. What did they do? What happened?
Well, I mean, it's going to come down to the same stuff as always, right? You got to win those. The turnover battle, the red zone, explosive plays. But I think it's going to come down to defense. Did we make them kick field goals, get a couple 3-and-outs, really control the quarterback, contain him, make him work out of the pocket. And then offensively, did we keep staying favorable down in distance? We're going to have to punt some.
My whole thing, who can sustain drives?
Yeah.
If Boise can sustain drives, I think they got a great job winning.
I think our first down success is going to be a big
huge
part of this.
Yeah.
One of the big things I was looking at, diving into some of the numbers, Washington, not been a good field position team this year. They have not had a very good punting game. I think if this turns into a kind of a muck it up dogfight game, that's going to benefit Boise State. They've got the better punter. And again, you're down 2 tackles. If this turns into a game where it's 60 snaps each way, a lot of running the ball, I think that's going to benefit Boise State. And then one other key I was looking at, Washington's defense. It's been solid this year. Points-wise, they've been good, but they've been giving up explosive pass plays.
Yeah.
I think Maddox Matson needs to play well tonight. I know, shocker, the quarterback has to play well, but Maddox has not played well against Power 4 competition. Go back to Oregon last year, Penn State last year, Notre Dame this year. It hasn't been good. I think this needs to be a Maddox Matson plays well game, hits explosives, and even beyond that builds confidence in the fan base going into next year. Because I think the fan base is still, a little on the fence with Maddox. If you play well against Washington, I think that's going to build a lot of confidence amongst the fan base going into next year.
It surely should, but I would also say if it doesn't, it's probably because we didn't hold up great.
Yeah, I like to see the protection
with some other guys around him.
Yeah, see the protection tonight.
I guess I see it a little different. Like, to me, this game's not all about Maddox. It's about everybody else doing their part. And
I think it's a defensive game.
Yeah.
I think the defense is going to have to step up.
Yeah.
I would say if their punting team's not very good, and if they've shown weaknesses in protection and punt, I trust Stacy's dialed something up tonight, and he'll call it up. And I wouldn't be shocked if you saw a block punt. If their protection's been bad, I haven't seen any of Washington's punt. But if they have a just a little wrinkle.
Their
in
special
perfection
teams
this
guy
year.
was an assistant here at one time, analyst GA guy. So if he might try, have something dialed up for him, wouldn't shock me. But anyway, yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going to pick the Broncos and go 24-21.
24-21.
Low scoring game. Yep.
In my preview, I went Washington 34-16. With Cage out, I'll drop it, say 34-13.
Who?
Washington.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's a bad matchup for the Broncos. I think not having two tackles hurts. And the thing I came back to is we haven't seen Maddox play really well against a defense like this. And this is a good defense. Held their worst performance of the season was against Oregon. They gave up 26 points. That's a pretty good performance if Oregon's only putting up 26.
Brian Walters, hell of a coach. Good defensive coordinator.
Good defensive coordinator. Did not work out at Purdue. It turns out Purdue is not a place to win at for most coaches. Putting all that money into basketball.
I'm going to go 28-24 somehow Boise. Possible overtime.
There we go.
We got the athletic director here wants to say hi to you guys. We got Jeremiah Dickey here if you guys can see him or hear him. So,
what's up, guys?
Hello, Jeremiah.
So what was that score? 28-24?
Yeah, Brad had 28-24.
Right. I'll go with that.
21 Broncos.
Yeah.
And I had Washington by 21.
How's the crowd there? Because Jeremiah and his family are big Uncle Bob's folks there.
Tell my guy Burke hello.
We'll have to do that. It's filling in now. I mean, we're getting to the point. There's probably one or two open tables, and that's it. So if you're thinking that you can come join us after the postgame show, put that thing on your phone and head on over here because it's getting packed out.
It's a great spot. I'm glad you guys partnered with them.
Hey, Brad, Kent, we appreciate you guys for coming out, hanging out. We're going to keep this thing rolling, and Nathan will stick around. But you guys drove all the way out there to help us out. We appreciate it. And Brad, Kent, are we doing another episode to wrap up the season next week of Riley and Rid, or are we done?
Sure, always good.
All right, I'll pay Riley.
Let's do it. I'll come
hey,
next
there you
week.
go.
If Rid's doing it, I'm in.
Wait, what did he say? Who?
Jeremiah said he's in. So, Brad, Kent, appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Me?
All right, they're having too much fun there at Uncle Bob's. Jeremiah, step back a little bit so everybody can see you here.
All right.
The LA Bowl, man, this is pretty. This is pretty cool.
It is cool, man. It's probably the best stadium that I've been to, and had a great experience a few years ago. And so excited to kick this ball off, and thankful for our band that drove out here and Bronco Nation. It will be interesting to see how many people actually show up and who got tickets, but it's an amazing place, BJ. You know that, and it's I'm grateful to have this opportunity.
Yeah, what's this mean? I mean, a couple weeks ago you didn't think you'd be here. I mean, to win the final two, to win the championship, like what's this feeling like being back in this stadium on ABC on this setting, and the opportunity that you guys got that you maybe didn't think you were going to get?
Yeah, words have power, and I remember talking to my team. I've talked to some donors came up and said, JD, you said this. Like I never lose belief in what our team can do, and we've proven it year in and year out. Year in and year out, and that was a close one. We've got some close ones. There's no cannon.
There is no cannon.
But we just almost took one to the head.
Yeah,
so that's good.
All right, that worries me.
We'll have to watch in the video.
All right.
But yeah, BJ, a few weeks ago when it looked doom and gloom and people were jumping ship, that's part of my job. It's part of Spencer's job. It's part of our team's job. We got to stay the course, trust the process over outcome, and words have power. And we never lost belief. And I know our team obviously had tremendous amount of belief in what they could do and how they were going to perform. And everything ends up happening for a reason. And so I'm grateful. It ties into a lot of what we say publicly: plan the work the plan. And, to get this, I mean, this was the number one bowl outside of the CFP. And I know that's our goal. This was the number one bowl, but I think about even how this team has grown, especially since that Fresno State game. And, we lose Mad Dog and it was really challenging, but, in those moments when you're at the bottom, and you're in that valley, you find out what you're made of, and you find out who you are. And as Broncos, it makes me so proud, and I'm actually, probably prouder of this season than last. And Bronco Nation may say, I can't believe he's saying that, but these are the type of seasons that really remind you why we do what we do, and to be able to serve those kids and to see how they showed up to perform when people started to turn. I'm just really proud to be a Bronco.
By the way, you mentioned the band. I'll throw them on the screen here for a second. There's the band getting ready. They drove, you said? They drove all the way down. They left after the basketball game. I saw them loading up to leave. That's pretty impressive, and I know a lot of folks had to raise a lot of money to help make that happen too.
Correct, and I want to give a shout out to the institution and anyone who helped. They have, we all have budgets, and we try to do the best we can, but without Bronco Nation stepping up and providing additional support, it truly does make these trips possible, especially for these kids. And they've been with us all season, and I'm really proud of them and our student section and spirits here. Eric's done a great job, and just it takes a team, BJ.
It's pretty cool, man. And you guys were here, a couple years ago. What a different feeling too around Spencer, around this program. I know a lot of people are kind of reflecting back on that, but you had obviously just made the decision. He comes here, and it was quite the couple of years that it's been here, and 2 championships later, and now you're back.
Yeah, it's amazing how time flies, and I look at that seems like yesterday. And we were just so grateful for that opportunity. And obviously, it was a challenging matchup with UCLA. But it's part of the experience. You come to Boise State to compete for championships. And the fact that we won 3 in a row and have gone to 2 LA Bowls and a CFP, that's the standard, and we're bar raisers. And the goal is obviously to get back to the CFP. We have a lot of work ahead of us in this offseason. But that's where I'm really excited about these bowl games and opportunities. It's not what it used to be, right? We got here Thursday, and it becomes more of a business type trip, but that's what the CFP is too. And so I believe there's some value in that process and knowing the quick turnaround and having to move the number of people. And shout out to Charlotte and Keaton and Dell and our equipment staff. I love those guys, and man, they grind. They make me very proud, and I'm really grateful for them.
You mentioned it's a business, and we heard about Cage Casey obviously deciding to opt out here. From an athletic director, just it's a changing era of college athletics. Yeah. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I don't know in the future if you can do something with the NIL contracts that include having to play in bowl games, or at least part of it, or if that is part of it. I don't know. I know Cam Ward, they said, played in half the Pop-Tarts Bowl last year so he could collect his last check. I don't know if that's in there, not in there, what you guys can do. Maybe you don't care about that, but what's it like as athletic director when you hear someone like Cage Casey's deciding not to play? And then I don't know if you can share it all. There's been a lot of speculation about why he's not here in terms of if that's just I was told it was a mutual decision. Maybe he didn't want to be a distraction, but I know he's been getting beat up a little bit on social media. What's just your take on that situation?
Once a Bronco, always a Bronco. Cage gave a lot to us, and so proud of him and his wife, and just I would ask Bronco Nation not to give him a hard time. Ultimately, BJ, it does make me sad. Our industry has changed. There's some things that I liked about it, and obviously bowl games mattered maybe more in the past. Now with the CFP, the standard changes, and that's okay. We have to adapt. Are there things that we can do with contracts and those same things? Yeah, but at the end of the day, too, I love these kids. I just want them to be prepared for life, and for Cage to go out and accomplish his dreams. And his dream is to play in the NFL, and he's earned that opportunity. And he did an unbelievable job for us while here. And like I said, once a Bronco, always a Bronco. I wish him many blessings, and I absolutely love him. And and I'm excited to see what ends up, where he ends up going in the NFL draft. I know they think very highly of him, and I'm excited for what's next.
Well, what's next is your quarterbacks, your specialists kind of getting ready to take the field here. The band helping us out, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can still hear us here. But what are you guys expecting crowd-wise tonight?
Yeah, it's hard to say, BJ. I don't know what Washington, how many tickets they sold. Bronco Nation travels well. I know we had a large contingent of family and friends, and so it will be interesting. This is a massive facility. But I believe it will be a good game day experience. I think Bronco Nation's going to, show up and be loud.
And it's funny because I saw Sire Gaines right here. I saw him earlier kind of giving a hype-up speech to the game. You can't tell some of these guys out here these bowl games are meaningless.
No, and don't get me wrong. Every game matters, and everything counts. Everything matters. That's who we are, and as Broncos, and so I know our guys are pumped for this opportunity. And you know, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and to have these opportunities to play the Washingtons and Oregons and Notre Dames and so on and so forth. That's important to us, and I'm excited to see them perform. And this, you know, in many ways, BJ, once you win that championship and you maybe aren't going to the CFP, it starts now for next season, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity in today's game. You know, and I'm watching these punts, BJ.
They're gonna say, we got faith here. They're gonna help us out here.
Kenna will help us. She's over here.
Yeah, we got faith here. What is this opportunity like in terms of being on ABC tonight, though, and the Heisman Trophy leading? I mean, there was one point where the schedule actually had the Heisman in your game at the same time, which I thought was stupid. ESPN having both outlets, but they put it on ABC right before, and you're going to be all eyes, the only bowl game, the only thing on tonight. I mean, I don't know if there's a monetary value to it, but it's a big-time opportunity.
There absolutely is, BJ. You saw this past summer. We announced our economic impact study, and viewership ties into that. You know, we are a national brand. We are a Power 5 program. I truly believe that. We may not have what everyone else has, but we're gonna come out and give 100% effort and do the best we possibly can, you know, and to be able to do it on national television and people to tune in like I did. I mean, I remember when it first rose for me, what Boise State was when I was at UTEP, and, you know, it does matter. And because we have that national brand, anytime that we can be on TV like this provides value, and there is an economic value for us. And so whether it helps with recruiting, whether it helps just tell our story in general, I'm really excited, you know, that we are following up the Heisman ceremony, right? And, you know, I'm assuming there are not many games today. Army-Navy, which was a great game, was earlier.
Couple FCS playoff games.
Couple FCS, but
the Celebration Bowl, I believe, went to like double overtime.
Someone was telling me the other day, college football has more viewers than NHL and NBA. People care about this sport, and that gives me a lot of hope in the future and what we're creating.
Well, speaking of hope in the future, I mean, you guys are pushing ahead on the North End Zone project. Yeah. That's going well. I know you're excited for that to be ready to go for next season. I mean, this is the final game wearing a Mountain West patch on your jerseys. Yeah. I don't know if you even have the Pac-12 patches in already or what, but just the excitement level moving forward with the Pac-12 and the North End Zone facility and everything going forward. And I know it's going to quickly turn to roster retention and the portal and everything else, but just big picture-wise, how you feeling about things moving forward?
I feel unbelievable. You know, change is inevitable, and there's a lot of opportunity for us as we look ahead, and very grateful for the Mountain West. John Sullivan's here. If you haven't, you know, gotten to see him yet, he does an outstanding job, and he's more than a colleague. He's a good friend, and, you know, there's some sadness, you know, but this is, you know, my job is to do what I feel is in the best interest of Boise State, and I'm always going to do that, and we're going to put our best foot forward. And so, you know, we still have basketball seasons and so on and so forth, gymnastics, softball. So we still have another 6 months before we fully make the transition, but we're going to try to take advantage of the final year in the Mountain West.
Now, final thing before we let you go, the question everybody in the chat wanting. I mean, someone commented on my blazer here, and then they said Johnny would be proud. A lot of controversy around Johnny Ballgame sitting in your seats the other night, wearing a light blue blazer that we couldn't confirm still had the Kohl's tag on it that he took back the next morning. But please, can you get to the bottom of this? Johnny Ballgame getting in with a press pass, working. He had his backpack with him, and there he is on a date sitting in your seats.
Yeah.
Fans are very concerned about this. What can you tell us?
Well, first and foremost, it was a nice blazer, so I do appreciate that he dressed up for basketball. That is nice of him.
First time he's ever worn a blazer to a game, and he happened to be on a date.
Yeah, and it was great, you know, that he was there, and you know, you know, I know we give him a hard time, but, you know, I don't get a lot of calls during a basketball game. And so when security and everyone's calling me like, JD, should we remove these people from your seats? You know, and then I have to go and look and see who is it, because I didn't have my family. We were leaving the next day, obviously, for this game. And I saw it was Johnny, and you know, I gave him the head nod. And
I hope you're telling the truth that he went up there first and then you found out about this. That's great. He
came through the tunnel. Honestly, I said, you can sit in those seats, man. Like, I'm Johnny's, like you, BJ, and our local media, who we're very grateful for, and thank you for traveling, and anyone else who's here. I think KTVB is here.
Yep.
It means a lot to us, and it very much helps us tell our story. And you guys deserve some fun too. And so Johnny maybe had fun that night and got to actually watch him and maybe be on 8, be with the.
Helping out with
I
with Johnny,
appreciate
so.
that. Yeah. God, Peanut had an unbelievable game.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. I know
BJ.
you have another interview you got to get to, but this is going to be fun here, man. Looking forward to this.
I'm
And
excited.
big St. Mary's game tomorrow. I'm going
That's
to
right.
try to get over to Idaho Falls in time for that one. So I know you're a big Uncle Bob's fan. We're going to bring our man Nathan back in.
Yeah.
He's an Uncle Bob's there, and he said pretty much a sellout crowd already.
There we go.
They're fired up there at Uncle Bob's. Thanks, man.
Nathan's
Appreciate you.
grinding. Thank you, Bronco Nation. I love you all, and I want to thank everyone for this season. It means a lot to us, and selling out 6 regular season games, and it's what's next, and excited for next year, opening a North End Zone, and what the Pac-12 brings us. Go Broncos.
Well, you got 1,347 right there fired up,
There
folks,
we go.
ready for this
Thank
game.
you
So
all. Love you
appreciate
guys.
it, Jeremiah. Thanks for that. We appreciate Jeremiah for coming on. Thanks to Chris for helping us out there. You see, Nathan, the players are on the field here for warm-ups, and I'm going to throw it back to you at Uncle Bob's as well. And if you're cool, I'm cool. We'll just keep this thing going for a little while, you and me, and let folks get a good look at warm-ups here and kind of see what's happening out here on the field.
Yeah, we're getting packed out here at Uncle Bob's. I think every table's accounted for at this point. So if you were planning on joining it after the pregame show, you'll have to join us for the postgame show, I guess, because it's packed out. Got the Sun Cruisers here with us. I know it looks like I've got myself a full selection, with Brad.
Why are
and
you
Kent.
not drinking those? Come on, man.
Yeah, we've got one down here. We've got one that's about halfway down here. So we're working on them, right? We've had a few people come up and collect their free Sun Cruiser for coming in and being to BNN. So we've got people. They were very excited about that. A couple of people said, "Hey, I read it that I get a free Sun Cruiser." Like we weren't going to hold up our end of the bargain, but yeah, it's going to be a great crowd and excited for the game. Like I think the fun thing as a fan about a bowl game is it feels like a celebration of the season, like one last chance to get together with your friends at Uncle Bob's, at your house, wherever it is, go to the game and get to enjoy. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a fun night. And obviously, my prediction doesn't necessarily reflect a close game, but hopefully Boise State keeps it close, finds a way to win, and we can have a fun postgame show.
Yeah, you see Maddox Madsen right in front of us here going through some warm-ups. Caleb Annette down at this end as well. And good to see Matt Lauder out there. He's on the left side of the screen. I think you can see him just above your beautiful mug there at Uncle Bob's, Nathan. But Sire Gaines right here. But as we mentioned earlier, folks are just joining us. Looks like everyone else to this point is accounted for and here and ready to go. And that's really good news. Gaines, Riley, of course, and Matt Lauder was a big one for me. His final game took a big hit in that championship game. He's healthy and out here ready to go.
Yeah, and I think Matt Lauder's a guy who probably as much as anyone, if not more than anyone, wants to have a big game. Obviously, last year's junior year, phenomenal. First team All-Mountain West and looked like a future NFL guy. And this year, things haven't all quite clicked the way they did last year for him. I think that's a guy that really wants to go out on a strong note as a Bronco. So definitely will be keeping an eye on Matt Lauder there and his performance today. And look, with some of the stuff that Washington does, they kind of try to play a bend but don't break defense. Like there's going to be chances, I think, for Matt Lauder, especially like talking with Riddle and Brad. Like if you want to go a lot of quick game with your quarterback to keep those tackles in decent positions, right? Not just go straight 7-step drop back. I think we could see a lot of Matt Lauder and his partner Matt Wagner today.
By the way, Kobe Young suited up. Wouldn't it be nice to see if he could somehow get out there if they got a big lead or something at some point? But they're waiting for the rest of the team to come out here. I'm going to go full screen on this, Nathan. But I'm still kind of like it's kind of surreal to me, Nathan, just the fact that we are here right now. Given this season, given where we thought it might be, to be here at L.A., you can say what you want about this bowl game or it's not a CFP, whatever. It's a meaningless bowl game. But to be here at L.A., this is a pretty cool deal for this team. And looks like Bronco Nation traveled pretty well, too, if you look in the stands here. This is this is going to be fun here. We got 40 minutes on the clock. 40 minutes on the clock still.
Well, in that venue, I'm sure you feel it. The second you walk into that venue, it's going to feel like a big-time game. Like, that is such a big-time stadium that if there were any doubts about, it's not a CFP game, this game doesn't matter, you step out there onto that field at SoFi Stadium, and I think all the players are going to get extra amped up. Like, yeah, it feels like an NFL game. It feels like a national championship because the stadium really is that impressive. And you turn, and I don't know, I haven't seen any Husky players warming up. I don't know if they're going with their golden domes, but that's
they are gold pants and gold helmets with a blue jersey, a purple jersey.
There, you see that purple jersey, you see that gold helmet. Like, I think that's one that, especially if you grew up in the Pacific Northwest, it's going to fire you up. I mean, we talk about Kyle Cox, his first game. He's from Eatonville, Washington, grew up about 2 hours south of Seattle. Like, I'm sure he probably grew up a Washington Huskies fan. For him to get a chance to take down his hometown team and his first start this season, like, I'm sure he's amped up for that. And yeah, I think, again, just walking into that stadium, I'm sure you feel it. Like, it's just an impressive atmosphere. It's going to feel like a big time game once that ball gets kicked off.
No doubt about it. Looks like the Broncos getting ready to take the full complement of Broncos getting ready to come out here as fans are. The players are clapping. As I mentioned, you can see the amount of fans that traveled. Over half the roster living in Southern California as the linemen here take the field, and the full complement of Broncos are coming out for this one. Let's make some noise there at Uncle Bob's. Can we get the crowd fired up here as the Broncos take the field? They're making some noise here in LA at SoFi Stadium, but final time, 2025, the Broncos taking the field, and I'll be honest, I know everyone's saying it's not going to be a great crowd, whatever. It looks like Bronco Nation really did travel, and whether it's all family and friends of the, half the roster that's here, in LA or what, it's a nice crowd. I think this is a really impressive turnout so far for Bronco Nation. And again, final time in 2025 to see this group. And Nathan, somebody mentioned in the chat Matt Lauder having another year. I don't think we believe Matt Lauder will be coming back next year, do we?
No, I don't think Matt Lauder has another year. If he does have another year, then that's news to me. I'm pretty sure he's listed as a redshirt senior. But, I mean, some of these guys, if they had season-ending injuries earlier in their career, like this is the Ben Ford situation. He's a redshirt senior, and it sounds like we'll be getting another year. But, yeah, I believe Matt Lauder went through all the senior day ceremonies. I don't think Matt Lauder is coming back to Boise State next season, no. My anticipation is that the tight end room, it'll be Matt Wagner and Austin Terry next year, and who knows, maybe they go to the portal or whatnot. But I haven't – look, I'm not an insider, I'm not a reporter, but I haven't heard anything about Matt Lauder having another year or coming back.
I just asked one of the officials that was walking by here, what do you make of this? Is this a good sign? The officials for this game are from the American, another Group of 5 conference officials here for this one. Does that help you think?
Depending on the result of this game, Bronco Nation, either Washington fans will say, well, it's a G5 referee crew. They're trying to help their G5 brothers. And if Washington wins, Bronco Nation will say, well, it's the American. It's sort of the Pac-12 / Mountain West rival. So they were obviously in it to fix it against the Broncos. So I don't know. I think a lot of times those things don't mean much. I mean, growing up in the Pacific Northwest, you just never wanted to see Pac-12 officials because they were notorious for getting things wrong, for lack of a better way to put it. So I don't know. Does it mean much to you? I mean,
no, it doesn't. Hey, who do you think's going in the hype circle here for the final time in 2025? Who should it be here?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
The hype circle here. Who do we think's leading the final hype circle of 2025?
Oh man, Mason Randolph.
You got it. There he is, Mason Randolph. And I don't know if it's going to be more than one guy right now, but Mason Randolph and Spencer Danielson in the middle, and there's Mason Randolph with a passionate plea to his team here, and he is getting after it, and he is firing this group up right now. Mason Randolph, your senior offensive lineman in the middle right now of this hype circle.
Yeah, that's coming into the year. There was a lot of talk about the leadership role, like Alexander Tubner's gone, Ahmed Hassan's gone, Ashton Genty's gone, and it took about 2 practices to see Mason Randolph and how fired up he gets and how he rallies the troops to realize, like, yeah, that's the guy, that's the team's sort of emotional leader. And if you watched him run out with the hammer to for senior night against Colorado State, like
hey, here you go, Kyle Cox at left tackle and Steele at right tackle. We can confirm that right now with your starting five.
All right. I mean, you've seen Mason Randolph, like Bronco through and through. He's fired up. He knows it's going to be his last game as a Boise State Bronco. Like that doesn't surprise me at all to see him being the one leading that group in the hype huddle. And so we talked a little bit about it in pregame. Like, do they go with Jason Steele at left guard and kick Randolph back to center? But yeah, it looks like it'll be Holmes center and Randolph at left guard. At least getting the initial reps there. It looks like.
What do you make of Steele at right tackle?
Yeah, he played a little bit on the interior last year because Boise State had all those injuries on the interior offensive line. He was playing guard, and with Hull Schmidt going down, noticed, I think right around the Air Force game, that Jake Steele was the one getting the cleanup minutes at right tackle. So we haven't really seen it. We haven't really seen him play important minutes as a right tackle. Saw him play on the interior last year, and he was serviceable, right? Like when you're down to your 8th or 9th offensive lineman, he played very well for being that deep on the depth chart. So we'll see. I don't have we haven't seen a lot of Jake Steele, and what we have seen from it has been playing at guard. So very, very curious to see how it goes. I like Brad Bedell's thoughts that if he plays well tonight, that maybe that gives you the option to kick Dalen Matoyer into guard, where Dalen Matoyer's had some issues with more athletic pass rushers this year, but man, he's a mauler in the run game. Like, if this team has the flexibility to be able to kick him into guard next year because Jake Steele plays really well tonight, like I think that's going to be a luxury for the Broncos going into next season. But I mean, with both him and Kyle Cox, let's see. You're playing a Big Ten defense, and it's not an elite pass rush. It's not full of day 1, day 2 draft picks, but it's a Big Ten defense. That's a very good defense. Like, you're going to see some impressive bodies on the other side that you probably don't see in Mountain West play. You're not seeing that against App State. So I'm very obviously it's been the storyline of the week. It's been sort of the storyline of the day is those two tackles. So I'm fired up to see how they perform today.
What's your confidence level in Boise State being able to run the ball in this one?
I'll say like a 4 out of 10. I mean, the interior is good enough. Mason Randolph's a potential NFL guy. Like, he's probably not going to get drafted, but he'll be on camps. He'll probably make a practice squad. Like, there's good enough bodies in the interior. Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines are good enough to be able to do something. I don't necessarily see this being a game where I don't see it being the Air Force game where Dylan Riley's running for 6 touchdowns and they're breaking off 50-yard runs every other play. Washington's run defense has been solid this year, particularly in giving up rushing explosives. So I'd say like a 4 out of 10. Like I don't think it's going to be a disaster. But if you told me Boise State ran for 250 yards in this game, I'd be pretty surprised. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, when you're this close, you realize how big some of these guys actually are. Some of these guys are pretty good size here. You got the defensive line. It's hard to see because some of these guys are in the way here, but the defensive line, offensive line, some one-on-one drills here going through that. Miles Walker, by the way, right there, now the number 2 right tackle. People were asking about him, Nathan, the Ohio State transfer. He has taken reps at right tackle with the number 2 offense. You have Kyneth at left guard, and then Tillaney, the Australian, I believe, right, is there at left tackle as the number 2 left tackle right now.
Yeah, and you talk about when you're up close, you realize how massive these people are. Alma Tillaney is the definition of that because I want to say he's listed at 6'8", 340. Like, he is one of the largest humans I've ever been around, and he originally committed to Utah out of high school high school. He's from Australia. Goes from Australia to Utah, transfers to Boise State, and was always a developmental guy. But yeah, you talk about big-bodied, huge human being. 74, Alma Tillaney is definitely in that boat. But mentioned Miles Walker as well, getting reps at right tackle. He's going to be a guy that I think next year is going to try to compete for a starting spot on this team, whether it's on the left in replacement of Cage Casey or on the right, potentially trying to beat out a Jake Steele or a Dalen Matoyer. That's a guy who was the number one player in Connecticut, and his recruiting class was, obviously when you get an offer to Ohio State, you're pretty highly regarded as a football player, and that team's got depth on the offensive line. It's not shocking to see that, he wasn't winning the starting job right away. That's a guy that, this year early on, it was pretty clear they wanted to develop him a little bit more. He's someone like when we get into spring camp, when we get into fall camp next year, I'm going to have my eyes on Miles Walker to see how is he developed. Can he be a starter for this team going forward?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Crowd filing in here. They did not even sell tickets to the third level and fourth level, so it's going to be the bottom two levels here. Nighttime is upon us here in LA, as well as the sun is setting here, and afternoon feel here. Did you lose me?
I lost you for a second there. Yeah.
Am I back?
It looks like we got you back now.
All right. Okay. I was saying, do you remember? I think last time they played here was an afternoon game, and I think tonight is a night game. Correct? I know this is a night game, but I believe it was an afternoon game last time they played here. So it's a little different. Lights kind of shining down on the stadium here, from what I remember a couple years ago.
Yeah, it looks like, afternoon game a few years ago.
There. Did you lose me again? Am I back?
Lost you for a second there, but yeah, again, it just plays into sort of this feels like a big game, right? It's standalone college football game right after the Heisman ceremony. Like, this is a prime opportunity for Boise State on a national stage to sort of announce themselves going into next season. Obviously, everybody knew Boise State 2 years ago when you make the CFP, you have Ashton Genty. Big expectations this year. Boise State's probably not going to be a preseason top 25 team in the AP poll. But if you come out, you win in a big moment like this, like prime time ABC national television, I certainly think that this it's a big time spot, and it's going to feel and look like a big game for the Broncos, and makes it all the more important to step up and have a great performance. And we might be without BJ again. I know as people are filing into that stadium, I can only imagine that coverage is going to be harder and harder to get, and dealing with more cell phones and more towers trying to come in. We have you back here, BJ? Maybe not. All right. Well, we'll continue to go here for a couple more minutes, and then we'll see if we can either get BJ back or we'll wrap up as we approach game time. 5:47 here, Mountain Time, 13 minutes from kickoff in the LA Bowl. Coming to you live from Uncle Bob's Pizza for the Lithia Ford of Boise.
I'm back, I think, if you got me.
There we go. I could hear you. Yeah.
All right. We probably should end this pretty soon, just so we while we're ahead here, I guess. But I'll give my final thoughts here before I lose internet again. Then if I go out, you can just end this, Nathan. But appreciate you, appreciate Kanan, appreciate everybody back in Boise at Uncle Bob's. Hopefully it's a great crowd there. We are going to have the post-game show. I think, Nathan, we're going to try to have a halftime show as well if we can pull it off. I can maybe join you from the press box. We are going to have our man Alexander Tubner and Michael Callahan. Tubner and Callahan joining us on the post-game show. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have full post-game coverage, like I said, maybe halftime coverage as well. But go subscribe to Bronco Nation News. You've watched an hour and 45 minutes minus a couple minor internet glitches, live coverage here at the LA Bowl, and watching these teams warm up and getting footage that you're not really seeing anywhere else. So appreciate you guys. Somebody said Uncle Bob's is rocking there, Nathan. So we got somebody in the crowd there, I guess. I'm jealous. I wish I was there. Go pass out some more Sun Cruisers, Nathan. I want to run them out of Sun Cruisers. We'll put it on Kanan's tab. And I appreciate everybody there at Uncle Bob's. Appreciate everybody watching this show. A record pregame show viewership here, Nathan. 300 plus still watching on YouTube. Over almost 1,700 total views here so far. So thank you to everybody for checking us out. This has been a lot of fun. Way to go, Nathan and Kanan back there in Meridian. I'll let you guys give some final thoughts and finish the show as well. But with all that said, man, I don't feel great about this game for Boise State. I just really don't. This is going to be a tough game for Boise State. Would love to see them win. Obviously, it'd be great for business, great for the offseason talk. But I just think Washington's a little – I hate to be that kind of guy, but I just think Washington's a little too much tonight. I'm going to go 45-30, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope Boise – I mean, that frankly, it wouldn't shock me if it was a bigger margin than that. But I'm going to go 45-30 as my final score, and I got Washington winning, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope Boise State gets it done. But this has been a lot of fun. We're here on the field. It's an amazing place, amazing stadium. For the most part, the Hollywood Park Wi-Fi did hang out. And Nathan, I'm just going to throw this in there. That sign up there, I'm just looking at it in the background. It's just pissing me off. The Rams championship, 1999, St. Louis Rams. That's our championship. It should not be hanging here in this stadium. And it says no mention of St. Louis on there. And they're taking claim for that in this arena. I don't like that. It ticks me off. But have some Sun Cruisers. Enjoy the game, everybody. And, again, hopefully to having a halftime show, definitely having a post-game show. And this is going to be a lot of fun on the big stage for Boise State. Go subscribe if you can. We got a 50% off deal right now. If you're liking what you see, 50% off at Bronco Nation News. You can read Prater, read Nathan, Chris's recruiting coverage, all of our coverage. And your subscriptions, your support is helping us get to Idaho Falls tomorrow. I've got an early flight to Idaho Falls, actually to Salt Lake, and then driving up to Idaho Falls. We'll have a full pregame show. It's crazy. We're here in L.A. tonight. Tomorrow we'll be live with a pregame show in Idaho Falls for the basketball game against St. Mary's. So enjoy the game, everybody. Nathan, I'm going to throw it to you for your final thoughts and predictions here as I get back up to the press box before I get kicked off the field here. But nice crowd. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight. Boise State in the LA Bowl here in about 20 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll sign off from SoFi Stadium. You can watch the game on ABC. Enjoy the party there at Uncle Bob's, everybody. And we'll talk to you at halftime or definitely on postgame. Again, Nathan Carroll's going to be with Alexander Tubner and Michael Callahan. Full postgame show. We'll go 2+ hours. We're going to really break this game down and start to look ahead for next season as well. So going to be fun. And Nathan, we'll sign off here from the LA Bowl, man, on the field and keep the party going there at Uncle Bob's.
Absolutely, yeah. And whoever said it in the comments, it's rocking here. It is packed out. The Bronco Nation showing out and supporting, obviously, the sponsors, but just local community here at Uncle Bob's Pizza. Got a text from my buddy saying, man, nothing better than BNN saying how badly Boise State's going to lose this game, because I know you picked 45-30. I hope you're wrong. Obviously, I'm rooting for a Boise State victory, but my best bet for the game was under 53.5. I think it's a low-scoring defensive affair, especially with two new tackles for Boise State. I think this is going to be a low-scoring one, and it's really going to come down to, can Boise State's defense get enough sacks, get enough turnovers, keep DeMond Williams in the pocket to help out the offense. I think offensively, the most Washington's given up all year is 26 points. It's not a game that I'm expecting Boise State to come out and light things up, put up 30+, 40+ points. I think their margin for victory here is going to be find a way to win 21-20, something tight and low scoring like that. Under 53.5, my best bet, my play. My official prediction, I put in the preview 34-16. That was when we thought Cage Casey would maybe go. With Cage Casey out, I'll say he's a field goal. Give it 34-13. I got Washington in this one, but I'm adding a caveat to that because I'm assuming that DeMond Williams and Denzel Boston and Jonah Coleman go the entire game. We've seen before some of these guys who are NFL draft picks in these bowl games, they'll play in the first half, but then sit in the second half, presumably because they have some sort of NIL contractual agreement to at least play one half. If Denzel Boston plays the full game, DeMond Williams is playing the full game. If Jed Fish is here and present for Washington, I think that's how this game goes. But there's a chance Denzel Boston, probably going to be a first-round pick. Maybe he does sit out in the second half of this game. Jed Fish, his name has been thrown around all week for the Michigan job. Could that be a potential distraction for the Washington Huskies? And who knows, maybe Boise State's defense just comes out and plays a really good game against a Washington offense that has been up and down. In their wins, they're scoring something along the lines of 46 points per game. Again, go read the preview at BroncoNationNews.com to get all of the stats and data and insight. In wins, they're scoring right about 46, 47 points per game. And their losses, they're scoring less than 10 points per game. So it's been an extremely inconsistent offense. If Boise State's defense is a similar caliber as a Wisconsin, as a Michigan, as an Oregon, I think they could come out and really shut down this Huskies offense. I think that's absolutely on the table for the Broncos. So one final thought. Washington's mascot, Dubs, he's not a Husky. He's a Malamute. It's a fraud. They try to push him off as a Husky. My grandmother used to work for the AKC, the American Kennel Club, constantly talking about this. Like, that's not a Husky. That's a Malamute. The people need to know about it. Somebody get the Sickos committee on it. I think maybe that could be a good omen for the Broncos, teach them a lesson about, hey, Malamutes, not Huskies. So that's my final thought for the game. I'm excited. I hope Boise State keeps it close, obviously. Hope that they can grab a win. I think that'd be so big for the program to finally end this 9-game losing streak against Power 4 opponents, beating Washington, who's been a bit of a thorn in the side for Boise State over the years. I put in my preview of opponents Boise State has played at least 4 times. Washington have the worst winning percentage against Washington since 2000. They're 2-4 against the Huskies. It's the only program that they're 33% or lower against since 2000. So this has been a little bit of an Achilles heel for Boise State. You get a win. I think you feel really good about this team and this program heading into next season. But that's what I've got. That's my thoughts. Thank you all for joining us in the ICCU YouTube chat. We appreciate it. Looks like 1,700 of you guys coming through and joining us on the pregame show. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Come back at halftime. We'll have a halftime show. Come back for the postgame show. We'll be live here from Uncle Bob's with Michael Callahan, with Alexander Tubner, talking about the game, talking about the offseason, talking about where are we at, Bronco Nation. And if you happen to catch the postgame show for the Mountain West Championship, Tubner and Callahan, man, they're a blast. They're a lot of fun. We're going to have a ton of fun here. If you haven't already, come on down to Uncle Bob's. Join us. There's no tables available, but standing room only. Grab some mozzarella sticks, grab a pizza, grab a drink, grab a Sun Cruiser here at the Sun Cruiser Studios from Uncle Bob's Pizza. I've been Nathan Carroll. This has been Bronco Nation News and the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. We'll see you guys after the game.